Okay. It's a little fiddly because the brake rotors like to slide around. And put a little care to make sure the brake rotors and calipers go in the right direction, which will be specific to the car. Look it up online. I'm pretty sure that the calipers face the same direction as the fronts. That makes sense to me at least. Okay, so both axles are now in place. So let's bring our chassis plate over, get some of our excess glue off, get the first chassis plate. Before we do that though, well, we can do that for the front because these green little nubs go into the top of the car, the top half, and kind of bind the screws in place, so we're going to need them for the rear. And annoyingly, LS Collectibles has this carpet plate or sticker backed on the plate, which is really annoying because you have to peel it off to expose the screws. There's one. And there's two. So you got to take these green nubs and kind of push them back into these screw holes. And they will take some force. There's one. This is relatively fiddly work. If these fight you too much, that one didn't, you can always shave them a little bit with an X-Acto knife so they go in a little bit easier after that. Okay. I'm going to come in and put a screw in for the first section of the chassis plate right up front. That'll make things a little bit easier for us. Also, to make things a little bit easier and to help strengthen this in the future, I'm going to put a couple dabs of hot glue in the back of the chassis right there. You won't see it, but it'll help locate the weighty part of the chassis that broke away for next time. I hope you guys can see that. But I'm going to aim for right there and right there. Okay, so my dabs of glue are there. So the last and most challenging part is to get a nice bead of glue right around there. I can even put little bits right there, and that'll help locate it and give it some strength. And again, this is time sensitive. You want this to be good and hot. Okay. And we've run into a problem. The chassis doesn't really have enough room to get behind that bumper at this angle. So let's see if we could get a little bit of angle back into it. So what I'm going to do is place it in here like this after getting a little bit of angle. So I got to wedge everything together while glue is still hot. So I'm going to remove the glue I put in. Now ideally I'd like to get a little bit of angle in this rear piece so that way when they come together they'll be level. Like I said, this is the most challenging part of this whole operation. Now I can also cheat a little bit and see how far we get, but I could also just screw this down and then press at this divide right here and just let the chassis sit wherever it sits. I could also remove some material here. I have to decide again, what do I want the outcome of this to be? How far do I want to take this? How much of a headache do I want to have? Why don't I undo this front screw? Maybe that'll buy me a little bit more control of how the rear two pieces align. Maybe I was premature in this idea. You know, as a diecast doctor, you kind of need to change the idea on the fly sometimes, you know? Okay, let's try that. Alright, so I'm removing the glue I just put in. Let's get our glue gun hot again, because this is crucial. If we get this right, we're at the home stretch. A little bit more glue there to remove. Okay, let's try it. Now, of course, it's not going to want to fit the front. So what do we do now? Do we want to break off the pieces in the front to get us the clearance we need? Let's try that. We might have to do that. But the good news is at the back, we're in pretty decent shape at the back. In fact, I'm going to put a screw at the back. Now this is a car, you know, a lot of people would throw this away. You know, maybe you'd return it, but what if you don't have a choice? What if they don't have a replacement, you know, but you really love the car? Well, this is that situation where, what do you want to do with it? If you do want to keep and display it, here you go. I'm actually going to put some glue over the screw hole because of how it bites. I don't plan on doing this again, so I don't really care about how it looks. I just want it to be solid. Alright, let's try this again. Let's do a little bit of a dry fit. So what I'm trying to do is how to lay in both pieces and have them kind of come together, maybe even complicate things and put in the third piece. Maybe we won't need glue and this will be what's called a compression fit. So I'm going to press down. Almost had it. I don't know if you saw that. But I have everything lined up at an angle. Okay. Not pretty. But if you look, it's all back in place. So, not pretty, not elegant, but it did the job. And right now I don't even have glue in the front because it doesn't need it. It's a compression fit. Let's get this screw in. I think this patient's going to survive, guys. Alright, screws in. Let's put a little bit of glue around that screw because it doesn't have all of the plastic resin flange there. And let's see how we did. Again, let's get any glue residue off. We have a lot of it, a lot of glue residue. But the glue residue doesn't mess up your model. It doesn't leave a trace after you get it off. There we go. I would say that was a successful surgery. The car will sit on all four wheels. It rolls. Good result. Well, that was Diecast Doctor episode 1. Hope you enjoyed that. Keep an eye out for every Saturday. We'll have a new patient. Everyone like and subscribe. Thanks again and have a good week.